به ومن والاه سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا اللهم يسر وعن برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. How's everyone doing today? Good? والله الحمد لله. يعني إن شاء الله the whole purpose of this is يعني to kind of reminder for myself first and for everyone, inshallah, encouragement to prepare for Ramadan. Yeah, because when you go like for 11 months doing something, you kind of get used to it. So you need to kind of get back in the gear, if you want to do something different. Alhamdulillah. So in general, it's interesting that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we know, the creator, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, has chosen to put special blessing in different times of the year, and to put blessings in different places, and to put blessings in different people. And Allah is the one who created all of this and created the blessing. Even, this is an interesting thing. Like, a lot of times we hear the word blessing or barakah. But then, sometimes the meaning of barakah is a little mysterious. But if you go back to the lugha, to the Arabic language, which the more you understand the Arabic language, the more it's fascinating, the different things about the deen. The barakah is extra good. البركة يعني الزيادة من الخير. What is barakah? Means extra good. That's it. So like, for example, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in someone's life, they give them tawfiq to do extra good in this life. If Allah put barakah in their children, He put extra good in their children, make them min salihin, people. See? If Allah put barakah in money, extra good, He makes the person use it in a good way and get a lot of benefit from it. So you see, this is a very important concept, but this is what it really means, the extra good. So again, Allah put extra good in times, like you have the different days throughout the year. You have Ashara min Dhul Hijjah, the first, 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. You got, the Ashura, the 10th day of Muharram. You got, Rajab. You got Sha'ban. You got Ramadan, obviously, with Laylatul Qadr. So again, this is something important. Whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts extra good in during a time, it's important to take advantage of it. Get the most out of it, inshallah. And then also, as you know, places like Al-Masjid al-Haram, prayer in it is multiplied. Al-Masjid al-Nabawi, also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put blessing there. Al-Masjid al-Aqsa, same. So these places Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put blessing in, and people, it's like the Anbiya, Allah put blessing in the Anbiya and in the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, and whoever followed their footsteps of the Salihin, yani wal Atqiya. So brothers, whenever it comes to Ramadan, and people in general, we notice something important. I think it's important to talk about this very shortly. We notice that people are different in how they react to changes in or the advent of those important days or important seasons, let's call it. So you have people who the entire year, they are taking advantage of their time and they're fasting regularly. And they have regular wird of Quran. Maybe they read 20 pages a day or 10, whatever. and they regularly, control their desires, regularly control their tongue. MashaAllah. That exists. But then those are the smaller segment of people. And then they have people who wake up during the seasons. You know, during Ramadan, they start saying, Yallah, now we want to do salah, now we want to go to the masjid, now we want to, you know, stop, watching random stuff or listening to music, right? But then, unfortunately, there are people who don't wake up at all. They're always asleep till, Malak al-Maut come and say, come on, it's time to leave. What? Yeah, that's too late to wake up, unfortunately. So, inshallah, this is the whole idea is hopefully, inshallah, will be from category one. Bi-idhnillah ta'ala. If not one, then definitely two, but not three, inshallah. So, brothers and sisters, there's a story. I tell it a lot, but it's so fun. I like to tell it again. So, basically, the story goes like this. There was basically a person who works 9 to 5. Yani, very busy life. Like, and this guy, he was having issues in his job. And he's, putting up with it because of he has to pay the bills. But then one day, khalas, like, him and the boss couldn't work it out. So they had a fight. So then the boss said, okay, you're fired, leave. And, he left, khalas. He said, whatever, I don't need this job anymore. I don't care. And he just barged out and left. But then, that person said, let me go to, he felt very, distressed and angry. So he didn't want to go home like that, right? Because then he's gonna pull it off on everyone in the house. So he said, "Let me go to some park or something, nature to kind of chill, walk a bit, take a walk a bit." So this guy went to one of those like national parks, those national parks. So he went there, walking on one of the trails. Then he saw so as he's walking on the trail, he saw a ring, a tiny ring in the distance. Now that ring was off the trail, and they tell you don't go off the trail. But that person, he got curious, so he said, "Let me go check." So he went. He went to grab that ring to see what it is, but that ring was attached to something. Like that ring was attached to another ring, smaller, and that's attached to something in the ground. So basically, he was curious. What is this? Yani, why is there a ring inside of? Why is there a ring in the middle of the forest? This there, and then it's connected to something. So then he got curious. So he started moving the dirt and all that around it to see what's going on. And then when he tried to pull it, it was not. It's like heavy. It's connected to something heavy. So basically, he moved it, and it was like a stone, like a stone slab connected to the ring. So when he pulled it, he noticed there was stairs. There were stairs going down. Stairs going down in the middle of the forest. Where's that going? He said maybe it's a shelter, but what is a shelter doing here? So, anyways, out of curiosity, he went down the stairs. He said, like, it can't get any worse. I'm fired now. Halas. Who cares? Let me see what's going to happen. So, anyways, he went all the way down. So, the deeper he goes, the less light he has. Till he reached the last step. Then he started touching the walls, and it's a straight corridor. So, he went and kept walking till he reached the door. But he reached a blockade. He touched like this, and he noticed it was a door. It's like wood. And then he put his hand down. There's a handle. What is this? So let me see what's inside. So he opened the door, and as soon as he opened the door, all of the hallway beyond the door all lit up. Like there was fire, lit up everywhere. Then there were like chambers all lighting up, rooms, big rooms. What is this? And then all of a sudden the door closed. And then someone came out of from the hallway. And he said, "Today's your lucky day, sir." He said, "First of all, who are you? What do you mean this is my lucky day?" He said, "Well, this is actually one of the hidden treasure troves you've reached. And you have your life opportunity today." "Well, what do you mean?" He said, "Listen, I'm going to show you something. Come with me." So he showed him uh, the room had like, pile of the most valuable stuff, pile of gold, pile of silver, pile of diamonds, rubies, you know, $100 bills and stacks, whatever you think of, whatever you can think of, they had. And he said, "What is this for?" He said, "You can take whatever you want." "What? I can take whatever I want? What did I do?" "Well, you're a lucky man. Take whatever you want. But under one condition, you have only 1 hour. You take whatever you can, and once the 1 hour is done, whatever you have, you take and you leave. You can't take anything more." He said, "Okay." And you're not joking. Like, this is not a prank. This is not scam. No, it's real. Okay. So, anyways, uh, he said, "Okay, go ahead." So the guy disappeared, went away, and then he said, "Okay, I have an hour. That's good to know, you know." And then basically the guy was starving the whole day. He never ate. He kind of went out and he's in distress, so he was starving. So he started smelling food. Ya Allah, what is that food? And then he went following the smell of the food. Then he ended up in a bigger chamber with all types of food that you could think of in your life. Best stuff. The best cheeseburgers, the best stuffed lamb, the best grilled camels under the ground, whatever you like. Yeah, ya Allah, it's like a heaven of food. Then sweets, all types of the fanciest sweets, cakes and puddings and oh man, he looked at this here, man. What is this right now? Then he said, "Oh my God, okay, I have an idea. I'm just gonna eat for 15 minutes. Then I got 45 minutes. I'll be collecting at that in the 45 minutes." So he went and he started eating, and he ate the heavy food, the greasy food. And you need dessert. Then after dessert, you need tea. So next thing, the guy took half an hour. He's eating. Then he got up. Then he said, "Man, shoot, I'm feeling sleepy." Pre-diabetes kicked in. He started feeling drowsy. So he walked a bit. Then he found like a room with a big comfy bed, the comfiest you can think of. So he said, "I'm just going to sleep for 10, 15 minutes for refresher. I'll just grab, those diamonds, fill them in a bag and leave. Those are very valuable." So anyways, he slept. And then all of a sudden someone's shaking him. "Man, what? Get up. The time is over." "What? No, I can't. Give me just 10 minutes, please. I'll take some. No, no, sorry. Time is up." "What? No, I have to." "Time's up. You have to leave." "No, but let me grab just like 5 minutes." So anyway, so the poor guy ended up, expelled from that place without getting anything. And he went back to whatever. So of course the story is fictional, but it's real. Yeah, and it's fictional in the details I mentioned, but it's very real in terms of what happens. Because unfortunately, a lot of us distracted with so many things, and we're missing the gems. The gems are the good deeds. Why? Because those you can take them to the next life. See, those he was able to take them out of that place. So that place is like the dunya. You have these gems, you have the good deeds, but then you have the distractions. You have the good food, the comfy bed, the nice stuff, everything else. And the smart person is who takes some of this, but then takes some of that as well. And not, just stay and sleep the whole time till May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from being in that situation till it's time to leave this world. And khalas. No more going back. So, anyways, so yeah, I always like to tell this story. So, anyways, brothers and sisters, this kind of give us an idea that we need to uh, understand the preciousness of Ramadan. Because inshallah, Ramadan is coming, but we need to understand Ramadan is limited. Because no matter how long someone lives, Ramadan only comes once a year. And if you take out like the time that someone was a child and teenager, and they're not really focused on Ramadan, that's like 20 years gone or 18, whatever. Then take from that whatever years have already passed from each one's life. Then take even the best scenario of life expectancy for someone, you notice that we don't have too many Ramadans left. Let's be real, that's reality. So that's why Ramadan is very precious. We need to really try to get the most out of it, brothers and sisters. So this is what we're going to try to talk about, inshallah. Again, we only hold something precious once we know its value. If we know something's value, right, we hold it precious. So let's look. Ramadan, what is special about Ramadan? Reward is multiplied. As the Prophet ﷺ told us that the fard, the nafil in Ramadan is like the fard outside of Ramadan. And then the fard in Ramadan, it's like 70 fard outside of Ramadan. So now we know there's multiplication of these. Any deed you do. Another thing, the heavy-duty shaitans are locked up. The heavy-duty shaitans are locked up. So there's less, waswasa. There's less whispering and, evil thoughts. Another thing, Ramadan is a month of rahmah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has special rahmah in Ramadan. It is a month of forgiveness. It's month of al-'itq min an-nar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides number of people. He's going to save them from hell totally. Now, everyone, even prophets, have to pass on top of Jahannam. Everyone has to walk, take that journey on the bridge from one side to the other side. We all have to do this. But what I mean, Allah will save them means they will not fall in. They will not spend any time there. Allah will save them. They'll just pass through safely from one end to another. Because, the hadith that whoever fasts Ramadan, man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbih. Whoever fasts Ramadan with iman, with belief in Allah's reward, and out of iman, fasting and anticipating reward from Allah, Allah will forgive their previous sins. So again, brothers and sisters, this is amazing. It is definitely a time for maghfirah, for rahmah from Allah, mercy, for being ransomed from hell. Ramadan has another benefit, brothers and sisters, other than the reward. Ramadan is almost like a school, like a boot camp. You're forced in. Because, think about it, you know how this is a human habit, we put things off. Like we have a good idea. You know what? I want to start, for example, learning Arabic to understand Quran. I want to learn the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. I want to, for example, go for Umrah. We have a lot of good things we want to do. A lot of times we tend to put it off. Okay, I'll do it next month. Nah. Okay, inshallah, the month after. Now I'm busy. We always put off. It's called tasweef. But then when Ramadan comes, khalas, it's coming towards you. You're pushed into it. Now you're kind of, okay, now I have to do something. If it's up to us, okay, choose a month in the year and fast. That month never comes. We keep putting it off, delaying. But now, khalas, it's coming, we're in. We have no choice, So Ramadan is like a boot camp to get rid of bad habits and adopt good habits. Like example, adopting the good habits, مثلا, learning how to be more generous. Like for example, a lot of times in Ramadan they have fundraisers, and maybe they have different fundraisers for different causes we never thought about, or we never knew certain organizations existed we never even knew about. So then maybe, oh, should we give? Then we hear a hadith, we hear an ayah, encouragement to give, and then the spirit. And then, we see other people giving, oh, yeah, let me give you love. Reward is Ramadan now, So it kind of encourages generosity, That's a good habit to have. And this is how the Prophet ﷺ was. He was the most generous, but in Ramadan, he was even more generous. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Also, like Ramadan encourages us to be regular with our salah and, you know, pray early, not at the end of the time, and then when in the jama'ah, or in the masjid with the jama'ah. So this is all encouraging good habits for the deen. Also encouraging us to get in the habit of fasting. Then we can fast regularly outside of Ramadan. That gets us in. Then the habit of reading Quran. See? Because now we want to read Quran, it gets us into that habit. And then another beautiful habit, by the way, is connecting more with our family. Because, like, for example, maybe kids have different schedule. The mom has different schedule. The dad comes different time out from work. So maybe not always family members have food together. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, right? Depending on each family have different system. And it's important to these times that the father and the children and the family spend is very important. So one of the benefits, Ramadan brings people together for iftar. So now that brings, the arham together, the parents, the children. So this is one of the beautiful things that give the habit of maybe we need to do that more often outside of Ramadan. So again, brothers and sisters, the fifth important thing I want to talk about the specialties of Ramadan is that it gives you a unique environment. So the environment in Ramadan is unparalleled. Just there's environment. You see, people are energized to go pray Taraweeh. People are energized to do Fleet of Sa'im, yani giving food to the fasting person. There's especially in the last 10 days, there's the Atikaf, there's people coming for Atikaf, people, so there's that environment. And when you are in an environment like that, it encourages you to do more. So again, brothers and sisters, inshallah, hopefully we'll take advantage of, these specialties of Ramadan. Now, I'm just going to talk a few points. Don't want to take too long, inshallah. Talk a few points that are practical with how to get ready for Ramadan. First of all, we all should do tawbah ilallah. Yani tawbah, repentance. Lish. I'll tell you why. So now, I'm sure all of you drive cars, right? Right. And I'm sure we've all driven in bad weather or in a situation where the windshield become dirty, right? One time I was driving through North Dakota and in the summer, and I started hearing sound like rain, but I said, it doesn't look like it's raining. But then I started seeing splashes on the windshield. I said, what is this? Then I figured out later on that I was driving through a swarm of bugs. And we're talking about maybe millions of bugs because I was driving for like 2 hours and things keep splashing on the windshield. I said, what is this? I think that was the mating season of the mayfly, or I don't know, like the May bug or May fly or something like that. It's crazy. But then after when I came out, I saw that basically the license plate, you can't see it anymore. It's all covered with these bugs everywhere. So the whole idea is our soul is like the windshield. And the sins are like the bugs or the things that come and ruin visibility. So what is tawbah? The wiper blades. So if you turn the wiper blades, the windshield becomes clear again. You can see where you're going. But if we don't clean it, what happened? Next, Allah يفتح. Next thing you know, you're in a ditch, ya Latif. Right? Because you don't know now where's the sirat al mustaqim? Where's that straight path, right? We can easily veer off. So the tawbah is the windshield wiper. So we need to have it on. Because if we don't do tawbah, we might not feel the need to do more worship, right? Because like almost things are rusty. You don't have connection anymore. So that's why it's very important to do tawbah. To make intention that we're gonna get rid of our bad habits. We're gonna do good deeds, inshallah. We're going to feel bad about it. This is how we do tawbah. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing, we need to make a plan and commitment that we want to get the most out of Ramadan. And one of the ways we get most out of Ramadan is to get most out of fasting itself. Yeah. Now, what is the meaning of Sawm in the Lugha? Yani, in Arabic language. Sawm means abstaining in general. Staying away from something in general. So we know that if, we know the Islamic fasting, abstaining from food, drink, and sexual relationship during the day of Ramadan. Fajr till Maghrib. But the thing is, if that's the only thing, then that's the bare minimum of fasting. We should get more out of fasting than just abstaining from these two. How about we abstain from other bad habits? Like a lot of times, I know it's a challenge. It's not easy. Like whoever, Allah tested with example, smoking. It's not easy to get off of smoking, right? But maybe this is a chance because if someone went like for 10 hours, 12, 17, 18 hours, maybe they'll be able to try to get off of it. Again, it's not easy, but this is one thing someone will try. Someone will try to cut down on screen time. Mobile phones, we flip those things. Maybe now let's do less of that, less screen time. More, we read Quran, read tafsir, read about the seerah of the Prophet, any type of thing that make us grow spiritually. See? So this is the right way. If we want to do fasting properly, we abstain from other bad things for us, not just because in fasting we're abstaining from things that are not bad for us, right? But they're mubah, they're permissible, but we're abstaining. So how about abstaining from what's harmful? Shouldn't that be more worthy? The second element that makes our fasting useful is if we have taqwa. If our fasting gives us taqwa. What is taqwa? This is another term that is mysterious. Everyone says taqwa. Taqwa is like when you go out in the rain and you wear a rain jacket. That's taqwa. Carrying an umbrella, that's taqwa, linguistically. When a car comes fast and you know the tire is going to hit a pothole with tons of mud water, you move to the other side of the road because you know the water is going to splash. That's taqwa, linguistically. But what is the taqwa of Allah? To avoid Allah's anger. To avoid breaking Allah's rules. That's the taqwa. See? Sometimes they say piety. It's piety. So, didn't Allah tell us, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. So that's the fruit of fasting. Being aware of Allah, being cautious, being pious. So that means if someone is fasting and then they're lying, problem. They're fasting and they're looking at, here's the issue. Like I don't know about here, but in the Arab world and a lot of parts of the Muslim world, Ramadan is the month of soap operas and the month of drama. right? Those 30 episodes people be watching because they're fasting, so they want to they want to forget about food and then they watch musalsalat, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, those Pakistani dramas, right? Those are pretty long. And also in Syria, other places, they have those like 30 days drama. And it's not like all of the actresses are wearing hijab and things are, it's like a latif, crazy stuff too. Anyways, um, so, so yeah, like, so someone, would avoid, looking at haram, will avoid listening to music, will avoid, any types of things that affect someone's spirituality. So that's the way that someone they're getting off from their fasting. And the last point I want to mention about how to optimize our fasting in Ramadan is getting the health benefits out of fasting as well. So, fasting has spiritual benefit, but also has health benefit. So, we get our digestive system rested. We get our body renewed, rejuvenated, right? So that means we need to be cautious and careful about our suhoor and our iftar, right? So maybe our suhoor should be a little more light. Maybe some fruits, huh? Not loaded up with tons of carb and chow. It's like tons of sauces and heavy stuff. Then in the iftar, ya latif. Like during iftar, there's 75 different types. Why? Yes, we fasted for like 18 hours, but then we come and our system is shutting down. That's why you see in Tarawih, people are doing like this. People are bubbling around in Tarawih because so much food during iftar. Why? So now we miss the benefit, right? So maybe someone make commitment that I'm going to eat light for suhoor and light for iftar. Okay. And then come out of the mouth a month. Mashallah. I've lost 5 pounds. I've lost 4 pounds. I've lost, you know, you know. Anyways, so again, this is something we try to get also the health benefits, inshallah, out of fasting. So now I'm going to mention 3 more points, and inshallah, that will be it of how to prepare for Ramadan, because that all of that was under the fasting, how to optimize our fasting. 3 more points. Yeah, Jama'ah, it is important to make a schedule ahead of time, to make time for ibadah. So we have to decide. Okay, we have work, we have responsibilities, 100%. But now, how can we reshape our daily schedule to where we fit time for Taraweeh, fit time for some Quran, fit time for some, type of good deed? But we have to put it in our schedule, otherwise it will never happen. So we have to make that time for it, you know? And usually what I've noticed, people find time. In Ramadan, people, subhanAllah, somehow find time to do more good deeds. But we have to make the schedule for it. And then the second point, second before the last, is renew our connection with Quran. As we know, month of Ramadan is month of Quran. This is where شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس. This is when Ramadan, Quran was revealed. Someone might say, wait, wasn't the Quran revealed in 23 years? How was it revealed in Ramadan? Huh? How was it? Well, its revelation started in Ramadan. Or it was revealed from the Sama Dunya. It was revealed to this world entirely in Ramadan. Then Allah, yes, disseminated to the Prophet ﷺ according to his hikmah. This time one surah, this time 5 ayahs, this time one ayah, depending on the circumstances and the lessons and all that. So again, so we need to renew our connection with Quran, reading it and understanding it. That's the key. Reading the tafsir, the meaning of it, and thinking about it. That's very important. Sayyidina Umar, it took him 12 years to study Surah Al-Baqarah. What? 12 years. And he's a Sahabi who saw a lot of, the incidents and the things that happened. But of course, for him, reading it and studying it was also acting upon it. So for him, it's a big project. But the whole idea is, you know, is to reconnect and get our connection back with the Quran, inshallah. Then the last thing I want to talk about is re-examining our priorities. Like, this is something I can't tell you. Each one of us have to sit between them and themselves and think about, what is my priority in this life? We have to honestly think, sit and think about it. What is our priority? What do we, if we have limited time, what do we want to spend it on? So this is very important before going into Ramadan to understand what are our priorities. We have to think that first before we know, okay, if our priorities now in Ramadan is that we're going to do ibadah, I know that work is ibadah if it is, if it is taking care of those who you care for, of course, that's all there, right? But I'm talking something other than that. So inshallah, that's another thing we have to rethink. What are our priorities and what are the things that last? So inshallah, hopefully these points and reminders, tips of reminders, inshallah, we can benefit from. There's one thing I forgot to mention uh, that is important before we Ramadan comes in. We kind of do some review and study of the rulings of fasting, like from a fiqh perspective, because sometimes there are things that break our fasting and we might not know, and then we might be losing our fasting without even knowing it. So this is very important. Like, I'll tell you, that was going to sound like a joke, but it's real. The thing I'm telling you now is real. Like, I had a friend who was a student of ilm, we studied ilm together. And his father, is a very simple man who haven't studied much, much fiqh or ilm. So basically, so one time he saw they're eating suhoor. He went, he left early, came back. They already made adhan. The adhan started, and then he saw his father eating. And he said, "Dad, they're making adhan." He said, "No, I'm waiting for the last masjid in the town to make adhan and finish. Then I'll stop eating." What? Where did you get that from? But did you see, like, people have certain understandings? You know what I'm saying? You know, or like another thing, like if someone woke up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go eat," I'll say, "Dude, don't assume. Check the time first. Make sure Fajr has not come in before you eat suhoor, for example." Or then, the different things that break the fasting. Someone should know. True story. One of the ulama in Halab, rahimahullah, his name is Shaykh Abdullah Sirajuddin, rahimahullah, he was basically giving a dars in the masjid about the rulings of fasting before Ramadan. So listen how crazy. This is a real story. This maybe happened in the 60s. Maybe in the 60s. So basically the sheikh finished the dars and then he was about to leave, and then some guy came and told him, "Wait a minute, I heard something from you. I wanted to double check. Did you say," this is what he told him, "did you say that having a relationship with my wife during Ramadan breaks the fast?" He said, "Yes." He said, "I've been doing it all these years." What? Oh, what? No, no. No one ever told him about it. He said, "Okay, food and drink, halal, that's taken care of." But this is real. Some people are not aware of what break their fast. And that's serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, same thing. Another thing you learn in Akef of fasting, in Ramadan, when you're making wudu, do not exaggerate in putting water in your nose and gurgling water in your mouth, swishing water. You have to do it to the minimal because you don't want to swallow water. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different things, rulings. This is important to kind of go over them and review them and understand them so we don't jeopardize our fasting without knowing. So this is another nasiha, inshallah, in order to prep for Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who, inshallah, get a reminder and benefit and get the most, inshallah, out of Ramadan. Ameen, ameen, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, wa barakallahu fikum. Allah bless you all. Thank you. Wa iyaakum. Wa iyaakum. Jazakum Allah khairan.